Hello, through the tears. It's me, Giselle. I'm jumping on here real quickly because I have been reading the Bible in chronological order, and I am just here to just remind all of us that reading the Word for ourselves and really digging into the Word of God is life changing. It gives us new perspective, new understanding. And it helps us to see things that maybe we would have missed before. This is not my first time reading the book of Deuteronomy, but as I was rereading it this weekend, I read chapter 1 and 2, right? And again, I've read this before, but what jumped out at me is, right, Moses in Deuteronomy is kind of telling the story of the wilderness in the first couple of chapters. And then he goes on to kind of set order and law and stuff for the people of God, right? As things that they're to do once they get into the promised land. But in verse 2 of Deuteronomy, he said, it is 11 days journey from Horeb by way of Mount Seir to Kadesh. It should have taken them 11 days to get from Egypt to the promised land after they crossed the Red Sea, but it took them 40 years. Why? Fear. Fear makes the journey longer. Because of fear, they disobeyed. Because of fear, they were ungrateful. Because of fear, they were scared to go into the promised land. And all the while, they were disobeying the Lord. They had no faith. They had no trust. So every single person that left Egypt, every single person in that generation that left Egypt did not make it into the promised land except for two, Caleb and Joshua, because they had faith, because they trusted the Lord. They did not allow fear because they trusted God. All the others died and did not see the promised land and spent 40 years in an area that should have taken them 11 days to cross. Let that sink in with you because it sank in with me. I was like, wow, Lord, that is what fear does to us. Fear makes the journey longer. God's will come to pass. The how? That's where we come into play. Are we going to stand on faith or stand on fear? Tomorrow, I am going to come on and I am going to compare this because this is exactly what jumped out at me. We're going to compare this to Acts 16 and 25 so we can see what should faith in the midst of trials look like, Lord. How should we behave when we're dealing with trials, Lord? How do we remain faithful and focused on you instead of our situation? I hope you found this useful. Bye now. Have a good day.